Part of the atmosphere around MotoAmerica Championship Racing. There we go. There we go. El Duque. Hey, Jake Lewis. We didn't. It wasn't too long ago. We were standing right over there. Good job, man.
Yeah, thank you. It was a really good qualifying for me. It's the first front row I've had in 2 years or so. So it's a good feeling to be up front because I feel like it's going to be a tricky race with the tire situation. So it's always nice to start in front of the competition. But like I said, it's going to be a tough race, and looking forward to it.
Have you selected your tire yet?
Yeah, but the guy I need to beat and want to beat sitting 2 seats over, so I'm not going to say anything.
I suggest a Dunlop.
Yeah, I'll probably do the Dunlop, and I think that
front and rear.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, honestly, the team's been working so hard, so it's good for me because the first session I think I was back in 15th, but we had a little issues and kept my head up after that because I've been riding so good the past 3 rounds and just kept my head down, and it's been a good 2 days, and hopefully I can pull off another win.
Well, we hope so too. It'll certainly be fun to visit with I tried interviewing Jake from the floor of the podium when he was up on the top, and that was ugly. That was just not happening. I couldn't jump that high. Hey, Josh Herrin, explain a little bit about why tire selection is a problem here this weekend. And I know it is. Everybody's really kind of, what tire am I going to use? I think there's 3 choices rear. Everybody sticks with the same front pretty much. But this new track, new pavement, and all of that is creating some problems. Explain as best you can what the deal is.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm not racing this weekend, so I haven't got any time on this track. I didn't test here, so.
But you listen, you pay attention.
Yeah, listen. The new asphalt's just a little bit, it's more abrasive on the tires, so the tires are wearing out quicker. So tires that we would normally have, they're putting a harder compound in, so it's gonna make it a little bit more interesting of a race because normally guys will be running softs, and probably the majority of them are gonna go with a medium plus, and the guys that want to take a risk are gonna go with a medium. And I don't know. These guys got to think. They got to think. Lewis might have made the wrong decision. I don't know. I think Lewis is a risky guy. He probably went with a medium. That's what I'd do, but I don't know.
Well, a noted risk taker, of course. Josh Herrin's going to go on he's going to err on the side of not cautions for sure. But the problem is that what I'm hearing is that the softest tire might last 5 laps, and the one that's harder than that maybe 8 or 9, and then the hardest tire that's going to degrade the least, isn't going to go the distance. Is this thing going to fall off a cliff at some point? Matthew, what do you think? Is the tire really going to fall off towards the end, regardless of which one you choose, just how soon it does it?
The harder compound tire seems to be holding up for the whole racing a distance, but the medium compound during the morning practice did about 15 laps, and it was about 3 short of the actual racing distance. And it definitely, took a pretty decent drop off. So we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board and either look at turning up the traction control and trying to save the tire, or going to the harder compound. But we have to just wait and see, because it's going to be a pretty big gamble. It's not going to be who's the fastest guy. Yeah, it's more just about saving the tire and just using your head really.
There was a picture of you that just appeared this morning, I think, on Brian J. Nelson's favorite photographs. You weren't saving the tire in that shot. You were full sideways to the lock, and it was a really interesting picture. I would like to see the whole sequence of that one.
It looks cool, but then I ended up landing on my face afterwards, so it didn't really work out too well there. So don't look too much into it, really.
It was, I had a former co-announcer colleague, David Sadowski, and some of you may know of David or know David even personally. And every David Sadowski story always got to the point where he would issue the statement, everything was fine until, right?
Yeah, I mean,
right up until
I felt great, and then suddenly I don't know what happened. I was just eating a tarmac, and yeah, that's about as far as my practice went.
Jake, Jake Lewis, a couple of people are talking about this might be the first and best opportunity for a stock thousand bike like yours to get an overall win. What do you think?
I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but it can be done. The only thing is the Superbikes have such good electronics, so they do save tires a little better than us. But I was behind Roger and Josh out there in practice, and even on worn out tires, I was able to keep up. But it's difficult to make a pass, and we got to be smart with the super stock because Matt's got a pretty big championship lead, but I'm going to do everything I can to win that class. But if I'm in an opportunity to win the Superbike overall, I'm definitely going to try.
There you go. You're not going to hold back and let your buddy Raj go by, right?
No, it's funny because he helped me out quite a bit on the pre-qualifier, and it's just like back at home. So I think towards the end of the race we'll both be sliding around, and luckily I come from a flat track background, so ready to do some of that the past 6 laps.
I hope it's going to be entertaining for us. No matter which one of these guys wins, we win as fans, right? Mathew Scholtz, by the way, is leading the championship in the Bazaz Stock 1000 class by 51 points, I think. It's got to be 51, I think it is.
Yeah, somewhere.
It's something like that. See, he isn't paying attention. But what does that do at a point that has to say, okay, I got a little cushion here? It's like managing a race lead, right? You manage a championship lead, right or wrong? Yes, no?
Yeah, it definitely helps having the 50-point gap. I would definitely have the gap and then be trying to actually make up 50 points. That definitely helps me out, and I wouldn't take huge chances really where the other guys kind of have to. So we'll see how things go. Practice, I seem to have a pretty decent pace, but race is a completely different thing, and we'll just have to take it as it comes, really.
Well, if you leave here with 50 points or more, take a weekend off. Make it a little more exciting for us, would you? No, that's not going to happen. Josh Herrin, you've been in championships and won them, and we're at a point in the season right now where you have to start thinking championship a little bit, in spite of all the, the politically correct. Oh, I'm just taking it one race at a time. That in the back of your head, that championship is there to be won and not lost, right?
Yeah, you trying to mess with their heads or what? Can't be talking about it in front of them right now. Hey, it's a stressful thing, especially wait till you get to the last race. I don't know if you've ever been there, but man, you're gonna be sweating it. It sucks.
Cam Bobier last year.
You better hope your mechanics tighten those bolts. It's stressful, but no. Hey, you want to think about it. You don't want to think about it, but you have to, because like you said, you got to be smart about it. And somebody like Jake that's 50 points behind, they're going to be taking a risk when Matt's going to want to, hey, I don't need to push that little bit. It's only 5 points. There's 3 rounds left. There's still 6 races, so it's a lot of points up for grabs. Anything can happen, but you're always going to be thinking about it. Yeah. If you crash, that lead gets brought down really quick. So.
Yeah, 5 points difference between first and second is pales compared to 25 points versus 0 if you don't finish. And that's really every rider's worst nightmare is not finishing a race. It's happened to all of these guys before.
Yeah, I just need to win. That's all I care about. Like Josh said, that's my plan for the last 6 races, just to win, because like Matt said, if I'm out in front and going for it, which I'm going to do, he can just stay back. And honestly, it's me, him, and Bobby that are the fastest Superstock guys, so it's easy for Matthew, even on a bad day, to get third, so it's hard for me to make up a lot of points, but hopefully I'm just praying for him to maybe he needs to taste that tarmac in the race for me to have a chance at the title, but I think it'll be a good race.
It makes your job easy when all you have to do is win, right? That makes the job easy. You don't have to think about anything. Your only shot at the championship is winning, right, Josh?
Yeah, sometimes when you're in second, you're fighting for that, and you got nothing to lose. That's when you race your best. That was always my position in all the 600 championships that I was ever going for, as I was trying to chase back, because I made some mistakes at the beginning of the year, and those were always my best years. At the end, when I'm trying to fight for that and get those points back, get those 4 wins in a row, or for Jake 6 in a row, and it can be done. Last year we won 8 in a row, trying to do the same thing, trying to just get the points back, and you're a lot more hungry when you're leading. You're thinking about it a little bit, and you try not to, but it's there subconsciously, and you just got to try and put it behind you and fight. Sometimes though, if you are leading, you just got to go out and do the same thing that you would the rest of the year, because if you start thinking about that stuff, that's when the mistakes happen. And I've been there and done that, and you just want to focus on getting the race wins sometimes.
Hey, don't